You're listening Laugh Out Loud with Dave and JJ.
Hello?
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 Hello? Pizza?
I'm here. How you doing, Dave?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. Let's go back to Phoenix. Great run.
Back to Phoenix. It was a pretty good run. First ride with Frankie Stoddard in the Air Guard number 26, and we really struggled when we unloaded. You know, the first couple laps in the car, just no front grip. I was really pretty worried about the way things were going. The guys worked really, really hard. We made a lot of changes in the last 30 minutes of practice. We found a couple things that helped, than just going into qualifying itself. I hit a good lap. Phoenix is notorious for the sun. I had a lot of guys, I heard a lot of guys complain about the blindness of going into turn one, that they had a hard time picking their points and stuff like that. And, it was very tough. I give you that. But, I kind of learned something playing around with my helmet, my visor, and some of those things. So it paid off. Hit a really nice lap. Obviously, we qualified fast enough to make the race. And really had a pretty good car through the race. Unfortunately, we had a couple slow pit stops, and both those pit stops were green flag stops, and just it cost us so much track position that it put us in a bad situation.
Yeah, you guys, you qualified well, you ran well. There was so much feedback, and I hope that you'd been able to flip through your Twitter account, that people were sending you messages and stuff even after. I think a lot of people were just really excited to see you actually running the whole race again. It was great for everybody that's a fan, and I'm sure being at home, and the hometown crowd, and I'm sure that had a lot to do with picking you up a little bit. So
it did, and it was a lot of fun obviously getting to run the whole race. It was just like riding a bicycle. It didn't take very long. I had zero problems with the length of the race, the heat. You just kind of get into a mode of really focusing on your line. I could tell, my second or third run, had a couple laps where it was inconsistent, but, it just seemed like, it was right back to normal of find a groove, work it until, something gave up with the car, start searching a little bit, and, we were in really consistent lap times. The finish obviously didn't show how decent the car was. I felt that we could easily finish anywhere from, 18th to about 22nd, 23rd. Like I said, with the bad pit stops, really cost us a ton of track time, and, we tried a strategy that we short pitted and actually had one set of sticker tires that we had for the race, put those on, and when Robbie Gordon spun out, that really kind of screwed up the whole program. So
where did you lose the 2 laps? That's what I missed. I know when you were 1 lap down, and then all of a sudden you were 3 laps down.
Well, when we were 1 lap down was when we short pitted, and coming in, we short pitted by a good probably 20 laps. And the thought process on Frankie's side was, we didn't have much to lose because we were the tail end of the 1 lap down cars.
Right.
So his thought was, hey, let's come in. Let's pit, let's get some new tires, really try to make up some track position, catch these other guys when they're pitting, hope for caution. And with that caution, get back on lead lap and really have a shot at contending. Got us back to 2, and just, at that point we were kind of in a box and didn't have a whole lot of options.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, didn't happen, lost 3 laps, got the wave around.
There was the one point where you were racing Kane quite a bit, and Menard, and that made it on TV a little bit, and it was kind of nice to see. But like I said, there was that one point in the race, I'm like, wait a second, how did you get 3 laps down?
Yeah, and like I said, it obviously if you're back out of the front spots, that you're going to lose that on TV all the time anyway. But considering what those guys are working with, from a sponsorship standpoint, to run with ran competitively with all the, with the 6 car, the 98 car, both Red Bull cars, the 13 car, which, you're looking at guys that all have more than double-digit millions of dollars of sponsors. And here's a team that really doesn't have hardly anything, and being out there being competitive. So, that made me feel good. I know that they said that they were very happy. So, at the end of the day, the finish was what we wanted, but it was nice getting to run the whole race.
The last time we talked, which was the beginning of November, your plan was to race Phoenix, and that kind of fell apart when the 81 went, when Terry was going to take that due to the provisional champions, him having to make a race. When did the deal for the 26 come?
There was some talks about doing it right before Talladega, I guess. Okay. But it really was going to come down to what happened with the 81. And
okay.
if Terry went, then Bill was going to stay in the car. They had Bill listed because obviously he was locked in on champion provisional if they needed it.
Yeah.
Everything stayed as planned. The 81 went with Terry, and with the amount of laps I had, Frankie chose me over maybe having Bill in the car, which obviously the champion provisional was going to lock him in, or even taking Carpentier, who probably has very limited time at all at PIR, alone in a stock car. So he went with what he thought was the best idea, and like I said, it seemed to work out okay.
Yeah, it worked out really good. Now, this weekend, I totally forgot about Bill Elliott being a ding-a-linger. There I was, you think, hey, king of the ding-a-lings, but he must have had the new Ford motor in there.
Yeah, I think, since the whole announcement of the 21 merging with Roush, I think some of their equipment's changed, from the entire standpoint of technology, engines, and, with their first race with Roush, with Trevor Bain at Texas, he obviously ran very well, very competitive. You see the big change in the way they've been running. And I would talk with Bill a little bit there before driver intros and Homestead, and he's like, he wouldn't wish what we have to go through on anyone at any point. He says it's just crazy having to go through the whole qualifying process, worry about hitting it, not hitting it, being in, missing the show. And, you look at the breakdown for qualifying speeds, especially for a mile and a half. I was 2/10 off of the pole, and I was 21st quick. You pick up a 10th, and next thing you know, you're 10th quick. It was that tight. We were a little bit loose off of 4. I learned a couple things during the race that, or actually the end of happy hour practice, that really locked down with the racetrack and race. And that's just the problem with being limited on tires, running short runs, not being a Homestead obviously last year. That there was a line that I chose for qualifying to 3 and 4. That particular part where I was on turn 4 got me a little bit loose. I felt that we could have run in the 60s, got loose, had a big lift off of 4, and still ran a 70. So, it would have been cool to have, maybe run a 58, been up there with Bill in the top 10. But, obviously at the end of the day, the goal was still the same. Qualify well, make the race, make a short day of it, and head to the airport.
Make a short day wasn't even, that was like really short. Did you lose the brakes?
Did I lose the brakes? No.
Yeah.
No, we had no issues. Obviously, the 55 was the first car out. And I think that you actually were confused when I tweeted, because when Denny had got loose and spun out, I saw him getting loose, checked up, had everything missed with no issues. And the 7 car came flying by me on the left-hand side. And Denny was coming back on the racetrack at that point, and I don't know if 7 just was afraid of hitting 11 also, but he just locked up the brakes and slid the tires for a good 100 yards.
Oh,
so I had gone to radio and said that Conway had locked up the tires real bad. If you want to tell a spotter that, obviously they need to pit, even though we'd just come off a restart. And I think you tweeted that I had locked up the tires. And
that was my misunderstanding. That heard 200, you locked them up for 200 yards. I didn't realize you were talking about the 7.
Yeah, no, I was talking about Conway who had done that.
Hey, when you're on the radio, talk a little clearer.
Okay, I apologize.
Well, and the worst part of it is the worst part is that they actually, on the finishing, on NASCAR.com, it says that you went out after 25 laps with brakes. So it kind of, with you not even saying that just now, I would have never even thought anything differently. So I'll have to talk to my people who are providing me some information and make sure they get their facts clear from their people.
Right, and it really was disappointing because the car was really good.
Yeah.
I fell back from my 21st starting position back to about 41st. Just fired right back through the field and really kind of was taking it easy. And it's one of those deals where we could have had time to work on a couple of places on the racetrack where the car was off. The guys that I caught and drove past finished from 19th to 22nd, 23rd, and really makes you think, man, just a couple small changes and. We easily would have been a lot better than what we were, and had opportunity maybe to finish even the top 15. But it wasn't in the cards for the final race of the year.
That's too bad.
So why did you come in then? Because I figured you spotted your tires, and so that would have been it.
No, the 55 had already pulled in and called it a day, and obviously we didn't have anything to gain. You don't want to be out there, running around and be a hindrance to anyone. Not that I was worried too much about it because we were pretty good for a handling race car and being pretty quick. But at the end of the day, the longer you run, you're wasting money per se. We didn't have a sponsor. The longer you run, the more it's going to cost you for engines and some of the other things. And we had some tires. We didn't have a pit crew, so at the point we'd had to come and put tires, we would have had to come into the garage and lost a number of laps. And at that point, you're back in the same situation. It's not worth staying out there.
How's the gym going? You've been tweeting that you've been working out and going to get some lunch, and
I have been. Every morning I've been going to the gym. Kristen, we're going together here lately. Almost the last 2-3 weeks. Mm-hmm. She spent a lot of time volunteering at Faith School, working with her kindergarten teacher, just trying to help her out, which has really been a lot of. Kristen's had a ton of fun, but it's been a big help for the teacher because just frees her up to spend more time with the kids versus the discipline side. Because I've been in there a couple of days, and it's pretty crazy. So, like I said, I've been going to the gym, and you actually talked with a trainer today about some different things. Went to GNC today, got some stuff to make sure I don't hurt the day after. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And not necessarily to lose weight, but just to make sure I can put some more muscle mass on. I know I've lost a fair amount of that from the neck injury, and when you have to sit around for 4 to 5 months and not do anything, it sets you behind. And I've been working back to it slower, but now that I know I've got the time off, really got to put the effort in to make sure you're doing it every day and sticking to a regimen and pushing yourself.
Are we announcing a couple of big things tonight?
We are announcing the helmet giveaway for a Lucky Fan Club member.
Excellent.
I drew the number while I was in Homestead, Miami Speedway, and today's a big day to reveal it. So,
excellent.
Do we have a drum roll? Stephanie Cook of Charlotte, North Carolina, who has been a fan club member since 2003, is this year's lucky recipient of a J.J. Yeley NASCAR helmet.
That is great. Congratulations.
There we go, right on cue.
There we go. Congratulations, Stephanie, and I'm sure that in the 7 years you've been a fan club member, you've been hoping each year to be awarded JJ's helmet, and this year you're the lucky winner. Congrats to you, and I'm sure it'll find a nice place in your home in Charlotte.
Maybe I'll hand-deliver it.
Really? That'd be awesome.
Well, they're in Charlotte. That's pretty easy to do. It's when they're maybe, like in New Mexico or something, that's a little bit more difficult to do.
Or north of the border.
Or north of the border, yeah.
In Canada, eh? Okay. First things out of the way, do you have the information to announce the second one?
What was the second one? I already announced the uniform giveaway for Speed Dice.
Oh, is that what you gave away for Speed Dice?
Yeah, I gave away a uniform this year. That was the grand finale for Speed Dice from Homestead.
Wow. How about the winner of the 2010 J.J. Yeley Fan Club Fantasy Pool?
That one I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Because I know that I personally did miserably.
Well, no, you're
miserable.
You're just above halfway.
Just above halfway.
Yeah, JJ, you finished 13th.
I missed the deadline for switching drivers by a week.
You did.
And that hurt me. That hurt me bad. Oh man, that's rough.
Yeah.
Well, and obviously picking poorly at the beginning of the season didn't help me out either, but it's a crapshoot. Suspense. Who was the winning team?
Oh, well, there we go.
Jimmy, and who was our winning?
The winner of the 2010 J.J. Yeley Fantasy Fan Club NASCAR Sprint Cup Pool is Spiky. Stacy Lucas finished in first place, followed closely by Insane Sandman, but managed to win by 50 points. So
50 points.
50 points.
So Team Spiky is our 2010 champion.
Correct.
That is fantastic. Congratulations, which makes me feel even more like a boob for finishing 13th.
There you go. But you can try and redeem yourself because Kristen beat you too. So. And
that's not fair, because I think she took mine and then went with obvious.
Yeah, and I think your father-in-law beat you too. Not a good year.
But, yeah, I guess things weren't looking good at the beginning of the year, and I wasn't getting my head screwed on straight.
That's why you use the name Ass-tastic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be Laughtastic.
Yeah, I stunk. That made sense.
The good thing is, we only got, I think it's 89 days, and then Daytona starts. So
yes, I get to repick.
You get to repick everybody you can regroup everybody that played this year. We hope that everybody comes back next year. Each year the pool gets a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger with all the JJ Yeley fans. And TracksidePools.com is the host, and will be again next year. So. Oh yeah, you guys got Thanksgiving. We didn't even talk about Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you guys have a good Thanksgiving. I know that you don't have turkeys in Canada. You don't celebrate that.
Yeah, we already had ours in October, but yeah, you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your families and everything's. And we will talk to you on the 7th.
Okay, sounds good.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll talk to you later, guys.
Talk to you later.
Yep. Bye.